Well, hello everybody and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. I'm just sitting out here enjoying the wind. Yeah, the temperatures are up to around 104 today, and the humidity was up because it is still monsoonal season, but people like Jeff and Cricket are getting all of the wet rain, and I'm just getting the humidity. And I'm looking that direction, and I can just barely make out the clouds in the horizon over there. But it looks like everybody to the east of California is getting the rain. And we people out here on the West Coast that are living in a really super dry desert are getting even drier and drier. So maybe we ought to wet our whistle. Oh, that is really the way to wet your whistle. Anyway, I was just watching Jeff and Cricket's latest post, and they were showing the monsoonal rains coming through there, and oh my gosh, the water was really coming down. I'd love to have an episode like that. It would really make me happy here. This desert is really dry this year. You can see everything's brown, except one track of green bushes that run from my pond area straight down and go around on an angle that way straight across the desert. So down underneath this ground there is an underwater stream or river, and it's feeding a lot of the plants along that way. And one day I may just see if I can tap into that naturally, of course. No, I'm not going to go illegally drilling a well. That wouldn't be right. But what I'd probably do is, if I can ever get enough money back so I can replace my ATV with the digger bucket that it was a Swisher, I think was the name of the bucket that I got out of Walmart. I get a replacement on that and continue digging my pond. I may get down to where I break through and the pond fills up naturally with the underground stream. And that would be nice. And then I'd have a little pond of water out there and use that to water plants and trees and things like that. And just let nature take its course. Of course, I wouldn't be able to drink any of that water without running it through a quite expensive filtration system. And the same thing with rain nowadays. Remember the old days of hearing about acid rain and that stuff? Well, those days aren't gone. We still have that kind of stuff around, so it may not be called acid rain anymore, but the rains that come down, yeah, I wouldn't trust them to just drink that water just naturally as it fell, because I've seen weird things where in the white, not the blue barrels like this, but the whiter barrels, where after a rain there was a red ring around the barrels, and in those yellow buckets, like there's one down there by the chicken coop where I collected water in those, every single one of them had a red ring around the inside of them. So that's telling me there's something in that water, and normally red would either be iron or copper, and I would bet more that it's copper, and something that's being left behind by geoengineering, putting streaks through the skies. But as you can see, for the strangest reason this year, there has been hardly any geoengineering going on. I mean, I probably count them on less than a half a hand. I think I've seen 3 days where full streaks of chemtrails were running across from horizon to horizon out the back of a jet. Other than that, just like this, clear blue and clear, nothing. So I don't know what's going on with that, if they got defunded like the police did, but who knows. They claim that they're trying to cool the earth down and change global warming, which is no longer a phrase. It's climate change now. And we'll see what it's going to be next year. It'll be a different terminology. It all depends on who's trying to persuade you that it is something that exists. And it's not just natural earth occurrences over centuries and decades and that kind of stuff. Anywho, I wanted to just post this video and let you know that I'm still alive and kicking. I'm not laying in a gully somewhere. And one of my neighbors sent me a copy of a San Bernardino official order. And apparently they got $10 million to fight all of these growers out here. And they've upped the penalty for growing. So let's hope that that works a little bit and cuts down on some of this crap that's going on out here. I've noticed that apparently the CHP has been patrolling and stopping them with the illegal water haulers, like trailers with too many totes on them, and using one of those big black tanks that is water storage. It's supposed to be sitting still on a property, and they got those on the back of a trailer and hauling water. And you got to remember that water is 8.34 pounds per gallon. So you take one of those IBC totes down there, that's 275 gallons, you fill that up, and that's 2,300 and something pounds. That's over a ton and a quarter. That's a lot of weight. And I've seen half-ton pickups and three-quarter-ton pickup trucks with 3 of those in them. 3 of them. Think about that. That's like, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 ton. 4 ton. And the truck is riding like this down the road. And a trailer, same thing, loaded with those totes and carrying all that extra weight. And the tires on the trailers are almost flat. That's amazing. But I do have to say, a lot of that has stopped. But now, everybody's got water trucks. You know, those big old 2, 3, 4,000 gallon water trucks. And my understanding, I can't verify this, but my understanding is those trucks are not legal. They're the ones that the state won't allow on the road because they don't pass muster. And these guys are buying them up fairly cheap or buying them out of state and just running them illegally. And I'll bet you that the majority of those drivers don't even have a Class 2 license to drive those with a HAZ stamp on there, because when you drive liquids in large trucks like that, you got to have a special license for it. It's not an easy thing to do. And I'll guarantee that the majority of them don't, because I've seen them coming down the road that runs out of here, the main dirt road, and tossing beer bottles and beer cans out the window while doing 60 miles an hour in a water truck on a dirt road. Yeah. Anybody who's got a Class 2 license will tell you you can use mouthwash, get pulled over, and get a breathalyzer, and you just lost your license. You're not allowed even that much alcohol on your breath. But these guys don't get it. And they're trashing the desert, and finally they're going to do something about it. So they got $10 million to go after them, and I hope they go after them, because we've already climbed up to over 1,000 growers out here. And don't say, oh, there's nothing wrong with marijuana and all that. That has nothing to do with this situation. These guys are all illegal, and they're not illegal just growing marijuana. They're illegally in the United States, and they're not keeping the money in the United States. It's going to those big rich guys south of the border. Anyway, that's all I have. I just had to rant for a little while. But you know, I was thinking about, it's been so hot and I haven't been able to do anything lately. Maybe I ought to get out my metal detectors and do a little bit of prospecting around. Go dig in some of the stream beds and things like that and pull up some tailings and run my sluice box. Things like that. See if I find anything. I have found some old coins around. That's always a good thing. And it's not a lot of money, but it's fun to find, you know. And I got a little can set up that I put all those found coins in. And just as a remembrance, I think what I'll probably end up doing is wrapping them in a little coin wrapper thing with the cellophane and the cardboard, and marking where I found them and what day I found them. That might be fun to do. But I've been thinking, you know, maybe, just maybe, this property is rich in Jaweya. If there's a lot of Jaweya out here, I'd really like to start collecting it. And I'm going to start looking for it. If I can find some Jaweya laying around anywhere out here, give me a hint that it's out here, I'll get my tools together and I'm going to go out and collect it. And once I get a sack full, I'll show you my sack of Jaweya. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to do that one. All right, everybody. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to share with people so we can get more subscribers on here. I've been trying to hold off, and I do have the right to do it, but I could do private memberships. And I'll probably do that once I can get access to my future gold mine. Right now I can't get up there because the illegals have grow stations or grow plantations between me and them. And if you go up those roads, they kind of get a little upset, and they kind of pull out guns and things like that. Even a sheriff was fired upon just checking out something on a complaint. And it just, you know, this stuff really has to stop. It's just not right. We legal Americans are being oppressed by this crap. It's got to stop. Anyway, that's my rant, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for joining me. This is G Bear signing off.